This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. This is a sponsored message. I've been using Anchor as my podcast host for a while now, and it's been a pleasure to use. Anchor offers benefits that most other hosts do not. It's free to use, but it also has a collection of tools that allow you to create a podcast completely within the Anchor website or smartphone app. They distribute your show to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other distribution channels without any additional effort on your part, and you can make money from your podcast without any minimum audience size. So you can use it as a more traditional podcast host like I do, but it's also got everything you need to start a podcast from scratch. If you're keen to give it a shot, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Wednesday, November 30th, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From the Associated Press, Somali forces storm hotel held by extremists and free 60 people. On Monday, Somali government forces moved in on a group of extremists who had killed 8 people and trapped about 60 others in a hotel in Mogadishu, freeing those trapped civilians and killing the 6 extremists in the process. An Islamic extremist group, Al-Shabaab, has claimed responsibility for the attack, saying they attacked that particular hotel because it houses a restaurant that's popular with government officials, and because it's located in one of the most protected parts of the capital, not far from the presidential palace. Such attacks are common in other parts of Mogadishu and across the country, but this one was apparently conducted in response to a high-profile attack against Al-Shabaab targets in central and southern regions, where the group holds a lot of territory and influence. Al-Shabaab wants to overthrow the Somalian government and enforce a strict version of Sharia law across the country. From The Guardian, 30 tons of cocaine seized in raids against European super cartel. A drug cartel that reportedly controlled about a third of the total European cocaine market has had its holdings in 6 countries raided by the European Police Agency, Europol. 49 suspects have been arrested and about 30 tons of cocaine have been seized. These joint raids were the consequence of years of investigation and other arrests and seizures, and they included investigations into purported cartel ringleaders living in the United Arab Emirates. Dutch authorities have said they will request the extradition of the alleged cartel leaders living in the UAE. And from Bloomberg, airlines push for lone pilot flights to cut costs despite safety fears. Airlines and regulators from more than 40 countries have asked the UN body that sets industry standards to nudge the aviation industry toward adopting single-pilot regulations, rather than the current standard of requiring 2 pilots per flight. The logic of having 2 pilots is that if one is incapacitated for any reason or starts to fall asleep, there's another pilot there to swap in and make sure the plane lands safely, while also providing an extra set of hands if there's an emergency. Some industry players have said that requiring just 1 pilot per flight would reduce flight costs and help ameliorate airline crew shortage issues, but others worry that making such a shift could create safety hazards, while also denying junior pilots the opportunity to fly with and learn from more veteran pilots. Many local regulatory bodies seem to be preparing for what seems to be an inevitable move to single-pilot flights, though, and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency has said that the changeover could begin as soon as 2027. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts, at understandery.com.